Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you all so far for bearing with me with my stalker series. And today I just want to switch it up, and I am actually going to discuss more about cybersecurity. I wish I knew this from the beginning. Although I've been working in tech for quite a while, I was really ignorant because obviously I'm not the developer, and I just wish that I was more interested in cybersecurity and how to keep yourself safe, because I could have prevented a lot of what basically happened to me. Could have been prevented in multiple ways. So from everything that I have actually been through, I think the biggest part is network security. And network security is everything to do with your network and how you get on to internet and accessing all your devices, etc. So how devices basically communicate with each other. And we use Wi-Fi most of our time, and when you're home, I think it's good to have a very good home security. If you can't afford it, just some simple steps will help you to keep yourself safe from your neighbors, from your weird family members, or from any kid who is extremely curious and just want to pull a prank. So, yeah. I think first thing is how to secure your home network. I'm actually looking at the notes that I've made, and so I will go through the talking points. When you subscribe to an internet provider, they provide you with a router, and this router is mainly standard routers that you receive from your internet provider, and it comes with standard username and passwords. So this is the sticker that you have either underneath your box or somewhere, a sticker with all the information of your router, basically. So the first thing that you need to do is to secure your router, rename your router and your network. And as I said, they come with generic username and password, and this is on the sticker that they provide you with, or somewhere it's written somewhere. And it's not really complicated. And this generic username and password for every router that you receive, for example, if you are in the UK and you are using Virgin Media, the Virgin boxes have a standard factory username and passwords, and these are public known. So publicly, these usernames and passwords are known. Literally every if you go to people's houses, those that don't really know a lot about what is lurking behind closed doors, what is lurking while they are using their internet or their phones and devices, they don't even bother to change it. As I told you in my story, I actually, until I got hacked, I had never really changed my username and password, let alone my SSID. So this is the first thing that you need to change. Actually, the first thing that you need to change is to go to your router admin portal and change the router passwords. So, okay. Like I said, how do you do that? You basically need to access your router admin and this is normally, it's I think it's also written where your internet provider has provided you with the login details, which will be most likely on a sticker somewhere on your modem. And it has HTTP address, and this is a URL for you to access your router's portal. And this number, it actually starts with 192.168.1 or .01. So this can actually, it depends, but most of the time they kind of have the same addresses. So once you are there, change your modem password. It will then relog you in, and once you are relogged in, then go through the settings. After you have changed your modem password, then change your SSID. The SSID is well, actually it's a service set identifier, and this is a standard name actually that your provider will provide you with, and this is how others can see you when they are scanning the network. They can see which networks are available. Most of the time it will be, if you are again with Virgin Media, it will be, for example, VM ABC 1234, something like that. So that already tells you, if you are a hacker, you already know, okay, this person is using Virgin Media. Let me check online what all the usernames and passwords are for Virgin Media. Then they will hack you easily. So change your SSID. I think the best thing is even to hide your SSID, that nobody can find your SSID when they scan for available networks in the area, that they wouldn't even be able to find you. Obviously, somebody who is more experienced in hacking will still be able to find you, despite that your SSID has been disabled or turned off. But in this case, just change your SSID, come up with some funny names. Don't use your own personal name. I think I have seen somewhere where somebody had an SSID as FBI surveillance camp or something like that, and it's raining, something funny. So just find a random name that nobody will be able to identify you or your device. I think that is mostly advisable. And then once you change your SSID, also change the password of your Wi-Fi. And normally, the majority of the Wi-Fi comes with 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz. And how I actually eventually turned to changing everything, I renamed the SSID for the 2.4 gigahertz, so different name, separate from the 5 gigahertz. So if one is hacked, the other one will still be a bit more difficult. And you can actually turn one of them into maybe a guest Wi-Fi, so that you give that only to visitors, and you use one of them as your main Wi-Fi, which only you use, or maybe your direct family members use. So I think this part is also really important in terms of your security settings. And also disable WPS. Some modems, I believe, have kind of a button on the router itself which says WPS. But some of the modern modems or routers, you have to go onto your portal and then disable it from there. And WPS stands for Wi-Fi Protected Setup, and this basically allows smart gadgets to connect easily with each other, since they are on the same home network. And this is a danger. Danger. Yeah, so disable WPS. It's definitely a must. I mean, if you want your devices to be connected to each other, just have a proper security in place. I will disable your WPS. Advisable, because it's just too flawed and unsecure. Make sure also to turn on your encryption. Majority of the current routers have like WPA2. This is standard for most of the modern routers. If this is not in place, then you probably have an old one, and I believe they are even have updated to AES, and that's the next one. So if you have that, also turn that one on. If you don't really have WPA2, then you probably will find WPA personal. So if you find WPA personal, it's an old router, so I would probably ask your provider to provide you with a new one if they can. If they can't, then just turn it on to WPA personal. Also important, if you have firewall, to turn on your firewall. And I think it's also really important to update your firmware. Most of the time your provider will update it for yourself, but make sure that you have the latest version of your firmware. I think this is definitely important, because updates are really, with every device, you always need to update as soon as possible, as soon as you can, because sometimes it's due to security flaws that they are actually updating. So you need to be on top of this. And what else? I think I discussed in previous episode that I'm using VPN. I am not really a big fan of VPN because it still hasn't prevented me, but that's because my case has escalated so far that even VPN is not protecting me, since he's always on my every network of mine. So even if I kick him out, he is seeing everything that I'm typing while I'm kicking him out. So then he can rejoin again. And since the stalker is in my vicinity, he can basically turn on, for example, my WPS, which I just told you to disable, and connect with me as if we are family members, that we are using, that our devices are being shared. So this is not the case, but try to get a VPN if you can. I have been using Molvad, which is, I think is it Swedish or a Swiss company? I think it's somewhere from Sweden. Yeah, it's a Swedish company, and they are known for being one of the few VPNs. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody has more experience with VPNs, that is not leaking any information. So sometimes your DNS can still be leaked, and I think these are all giveaways of who you are, what devices you're using. So it's quite important to get a good VPN if you can, and stay away from free ones, because most of the time they are not as secure as a paid version. And another VPN that I have actually also used is Bitdefender. I had Bitdefender Total Security, I guess. And this one was actually doing its job, until the only downside of Bitdefender is you have to log into their mainframe. So you have to log in through your email, etc. And so at one point, obviously, the stalker had all my informations, and so he was able to kind of look at what I'm typing, and found out the password basically of Bitdefender, and was able to kind of disrupt it and throw it off of my laptop. So that's why I stopped using Bitdefender. And the longest VPN that I've been using, I think right now, for more than a year, or I think I'm going 2 years with Molvat, although I'm not really happy with them since the hacker is able to disconnect it also. Apart from Molvat, I will also say Proton Mail VPN. This is also another VPN that I have used. It's also a good one. And I think they even offer like a free version. You will have like 3 locations that you can choose from for your phone and for your devices. You just need to create an email account with Proton Mail, and then you can use the free version of the VPN. But as I said, I think it's better to just pay for a subscription and have a better security in terms of your VPN. And it's also actually good to have like a third party software for your protection, as in terms of firewall. So I ask you to turn on your firewall, which is the last stage of your settings. And so if you use, for example, Bitdefender, and like I said, I had like total protection. So Bitdefender has VPN, and it also has like internet protection and virus scanning and malware scanning and all that in one. So overall, Bitdefender is then like a very good one to have. Obviously, there are other softwares out there. By the way, nobody's sponsoring me. These are just personal VPNs that I have used, and I have only used these 3 besides the VPN that I got from work, which was Cisco, I think. So that's just it in terms of my own experiences with VPN. And another factor that I'll also mention with your devices, I think last time I spoke about MacBooks, how dangerous actually it is due to the ability to interconnect all the devices together. And this is leaving a lot of room for hackers. Like I said, a hacker can gain access to you through to Chromecast, for example. He can gain access to you through that. Your NFC, your Bluetooth. These are all ways to basically access your device and get onto your network and get onto you easily. So try to turn everything off as you can. If you're already hacked and you are going through your phone, if you are using an Android phone, go through these settings in Google, and then it says device and nearby sharing. Go through it and turn everything off. Like literally turn everything off. This is how the hacker actually every time got into my device. He will be using, since I stopped using the iPhone, since I sold it, and on my Android device, he will either turn my Bluetooth on and NFC on, and since I turned those 2 off, he will then start using Google Share. Let me quickly have a look because I keep forgetting the name. It's okay, so on your Android device, you will go to Google and then devices and sharing. And then there is a cast option. So that cast option, you should turn it off. It's just awful. Media controls for cast devices. Turn it off. Disable it. And then Also go into devices, and if anything is sharing, you should turn that off. That is definitely a danger. And nearby share, also turn that off, because this is literally how he gets to you every time. So right now, he has enabled device sharing. And this is how he's every time in my phone. So just learn from all the mistakes that I've made and try to protect yourself. It's really annoying. I don't understand the motivation behind listening to somebody's calls, listening to the text, looking at their text messages. I don't use WhatsApp anymore. I don't make calls because my phone is always turned off. I just don't use anything that is unnecessary. Obviously I'm using my internet right now, and I'm using my laptop to record this message, and I will upload it. And I work every day on my laptop due to work. But yeah, I think if I could live 1 year without being connected anyhow, I would love it. So if anybody has a job where I don't have to use technology to live my life, I am available. Yeah, so this is my vlog for today. Keep safe and keep your network secure, and prevent evil hackers or even trolls from getting to your psyche, and protect yourself. Till next time. See you. Bye.